Weaving involves the crossing of two threads, the warp and the weft, one vertical and the other horizontal, one stretched taut and the other undulating and intertwined with the first. To produce the textile, it is necessary for these two threads to be bound. Otherwise, each will remain a fragile and fluttering potentiality. If the meeting of opposites does not take place, nothing is created, for each element is defined by its opposite and takes its meaning from it. Philippine textile weaving is a deeply rooted art and craft that has sustained through history and ingrained itself into the nation's heritage as a rich expression of culture. And as it was passed down through centuries, it has evolved uniquely from one indigenous community to another. Over time, Philippine handloom weaving has inevitably evolved in value from a cultural practice into a cottage industry consisting of micro and medium enterprises. However, the weaving industry is currently encountering a pivotal phase where its long-term sustainability is yet to be realized due to the unresolved gaps faced by weaving communities amidst the onslaught of present-day interventions. The current known textile system, as evidenced by textile work environments dictated by the reductionist system of mass production and industrialization, operates through a holistically unsustainable framework that has become reflected in the structure and environment of the Philippine weaving industry today. A juxtaposition and ignorance to the already holistic and self-sufficient principles that indigenous weaving communities have continually expressed in their centuries-old practices. Constrained by the textile and garments industry system, the handloom weaving industry has since remained relegated, operating in home-based work environments within rural communities with a variety of economic, sociocultural, and ecological factors that hinder them from reaching self-sufficiency. But despite the underdeveloped situation of the industry, Philippine handloom weaving continues to persevere. A study conducted by the British Council in the Philippines emphasizes the idea that the involvement of the textile and garments industry stakeholders is essential in revitalizing the Philippine weaving industry and providing it with the necessary capacity and leverage to drive it forward in a contemporary context. The architectural resolution in this thesis, therefore, lies in finding the space in between. A self-sufficient milieu for the Philippine weaving industry within the contemporary context entails seeking the in-between, symbiotic hybrid space through the third space theory that mediates the core ways of indigenous weaving communities and the textile and garments industry players. Philippine culture, as expressed in textile weaving, has developed a unique type of language that articulates a profound wisdom, a multidimensional understanding of life that deviates from the linear and reductionist way of perceiving the world today. According to Dr. Patricia Araneta, these woven textiles reveal the culture, worldviews, belief systems, and ideologies of the communities in which they were crafted. Woven textiles tell the story of a people who possess a wisdom and understanding of what it means to be uniquely local yet universal. To them, art is an essential part of life and not separate from it. Philippine weaving reflects the core or broader indigenous ways rooted in indigenous epistemologies, pedagogies, and ontologies that contrast the accustomed Western-oriented systems of knowledge. There is a multitude of ethnographic regions across the Philippines with living weaving traditions. However, after assessing the site criteria, the site selection process was narrowed down to Kalibo Aklan in Panay Island, mainly for its rich cultural identity associated with their piña weaving industry. Aklan piña handloom weaving involves the following processes. The main source of fiber is the piña bisaya, otherwise known as the red Spanish pineapple variety that is native to Aklan. Traditionally, using a porcelain shard, the outer layer of the harvested piña is scraped in order to extract the coarse fiber. Afterwards, the finer fibers are scraped from the piña leaves using a coconut shell. After fiber extraction, the fibers are rinsed under running water, traditionally in rivers and creeks, in order to remove leftover dirt and pigments. After washing, the fibers are hung to dry. When the fibers are dried, they are bundled up, weighed, and priced according to a local standard. Dried fibers are separated then knotted together to create yarn. The knotted fiber is then placed in a warping wheel to be spooled. After the fibers have been warped, they are organized onto the loom to be woven. And when the fabric is woven, finishing touches such as embroidery, hand painting, or dyeing could be applied. Through a purposive process, the chosen site for the study is a 17.3-hectare farmland in Barangay Mobo, Calibo, Aklan. This farmland is the nearest agricultural land in Calibo which cultivates the red Spanish pineapples needed for piña weaving. Owned by Ana India de la Cruz Legazpi, the farm shelters the Ati, the native tribe of Aklan, as well as the Aklan Riverland Farmers and Weavers Association, a network that aims for the safeguarding and sustainability of traditional piña weaving. The farm cultivates a variety of agricultural and aquaculture crops that the association sells as a main source of income, along with other types of flora and fauna. The site also holds greenhouses and plant nurseries, as well as indigenous houses built by the Ati from bamboo and other locally grown resources within the site. Textile industry players have started to gain awareness and create movements that support local, sustainable, and ethical options. These include material, technique, and technology innovations. The following are some relevant present-day interventions incorporated in the design solutions. Combining elements from the traditional Panay house as a ritually ordered space constructed using their local building culture, and infusing the architecture with resilient construction innovations that respond to the natural hazards experienced in Panay creates an architectural language that can be molded easily to fit the different needs of the piña weaving ritual processes. Weaving communities can easily build the structure using readily available materials such as cocoa lumber, bamboo, and abaca. Maintaining and enhancing the stilt characteristic of Aklanan indigenous architecture allows for access and surveillance over agricultural land through its elevation, while also being more resilient over floods and agricultural land hazards. Another resilient system solution framework that this thesis explores is circular economy, an emerging concept in mainstream society but an inherent way of life for indigenous people across the world for a millennia. As such, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation also released a framework for a new textiles economy that proposes a new vision for the textile industry system that aligns with the principles of a circular economy. You'll find these frameworks incorporated into the site planning process. The following sequence describes the site planning process. Traditional Aklanon houses typically sit in the middle of the field overlooking the various agricultural cycles. Taking from this, the act of weaving is made into a polis situated in the center of the farm. General circulation around the site is based on the typical day-to-day circulation ritual of the Ati inhabitants. Based on the general circulation, the general flow of zones and activities around the site are designed in response to the weaver's schedule and the order of weaving rituals. Each activity is also situated adjacent to existing resources in the farm that will play a significant role in the execution of the activity or process. All zones radiate around the main weaving center. Each zone is then linked to the entrance points of the weaving center. With this, users may weave in and out of the main attraction in a celebratory manner. Walkways stretch outward from the weaving center like tree roots and weave their way around the site in an organic manner. With respect to the farm's existing landscape and resources, the walkways are built around existing trees, creating nodes. The users then have the freedom to circulate through the site in a manner that feels intentional instead of forced. The development is never complete. It continues to grow and evolve like roots over time. The harvesting and extraction station is situated near plant cultivation zones, specifically amongst the red Spanish pineapple plots. Within the structure are sunken pits for either collection of harvest or conversation. Another feature of the station are the custom benches made for pineapple fiber extraction, and alternatively, these benches can be used for lectures and workshops. This station is mainly designed to accommodate the activity of knotting piña fibers. The structure turns the traditional practice of knotting on a bamboo stick into a building tectonic to provide the knotters with a more comfortable environment to knot with a view of the vast farm. The structure also holds space for the weighing and bundling of fibers. This station is designed primarily for the dyeing and drying of fibers and fabrics. Harvesting natural colorants from the adjacent dye plant farm, the weavers undergo the dyeing process in a ritualistic manner, moving inwards as they work through each step. The rainwater harvesting roof also helps collect more water for boiling and dyeing. Meanwhile, the bamboo railing serves as drying zones, painting the facade with color. The users have always wanted a bridge to reach the other side of the farm. The bridge was designed to adapt to the tendency of the rise and fall of water in the old river creek during extreme weather conditions. The bridge is also designed in a way where users can not only sit and enjoy the peaceful, scenic view of water lilies, but also serves as a space where weavers can walk down from the nearby dyeing station to rinse fabrics and fibers in a traditional manner. Weaving looms are typically spaced out in a rigid grid-like manner, mimicking the restrictive work environment of factory workers. This system does not encourage communication or interaction amongst weavers. There is then an opportunity to explore the positioning of looms in a circular manner as to promote the act of weaving as a communal activity. The program, which is influenced by the spatio-temporal nature of Calibos Ati-Atihan Festival, allows visitors to weave their way through weavers who use the loom in orchestration, exuding a prominent cacophonous sound. This then reflects the performative nature of the weaving ritual while encouraging interaction and learning. The main center promotes the celebratory nature of weaving. Other than providing space for warping and spinning, the venue is also intentionally designed to host festivities, performances, retail spaces, exhibitions, and children play spaces through the provision of a stage, bleachers, and displays. Taking from the concept of traditional Aklanon houses overlooking agricultural land, the structure provides a 360-degree viewing deck where visitors can take in the breathtaking view of the farmland. Located near the weaving center in a more secluded zone in the farm is the post-weaving embellishment station, a third space for weavers, designers, embroiders, visual artists, and consumers to meet and create garments or products out of the hand-woven fabrics. The space is designed to accommodate multifunctional use. Hanging from the beams above are embroidery boards, screen partitions, and finished fabrics, providing privacy and division to different groups of textile and garments industry stakeholders who partake in designing, sewing, painting, or embroidery in a collaborative manner. A feature of weaving or fiber festivals in a clan is the coming together of people for a communal feast. It is similar to that of other festivals such as the Ati-Atihan. With this, a gastronomy zone is situated near the weaving center. In this zone, users and visitors can freely harvest their own vegetables from the surrounding farm and bring them to the main kitchen to have them cooked and eaten in the alfresco dining spaces. With respect to the existing design language of ATI families, ATI residences are further enhanced by incorporating cultural and post-disaster resilience building techniques that the residents themselves are able to construct and reconstruct on their own.